Hey, hey, hey! What's going on, Mecha Army? Welcome to the Child of Mecha livestream. I am your host, Tim, the one and only Child of Mecha. Good to see you guys. It is Thursday. We're going to jump back in on this SD high-grade amalgamation for the Team SD Buildoff that ended about a week ago. Fun till whenever we get done, right? So, that's basically what it is at this point. But hey, today, rocking the airdrop chibi. Yes, sir. If you want to get one of these awesome airdrop chibi shirts, highly suggest you hit up www.shotofmecha.com. Hit the store button up at the top. You will find this shirt, many more hats, prints of my work, all sorts of stuff. Yeah, go load up. If you are interested in any of the tools and materials that we're going to be working with here today, I highly suggest that you hit the little Amazon link below here on Twitch and YouTube. That side if you're watching on Facebook. Now, I do get a bit of a commission based off the stuff that you buy, but it does not increase the cost for you. It goes to help out me, help out the stream, fuel our endeavors moving forward, right? There's, a lot of cool stuff on there. Like I said, tools and materials, gear for streaming if you want to get into that. Now's a good time. Books for inspiration, especially with Bandai, the Bandai Hobby Open coming up. Get all the inspiration that you can get, is what I would say. Then aside from that, if you are interested in kits, paints, tools, materials, etc., Mecha Decals, sheets 1 and 2, those are both in stock and shipping now. Hit up our good friends right down yonder here, USA Gundam Store. Adam and the fine crew down there will definitely have what you need. And as always, if you like what we do here, if you learn something, if you get benefit from these live streams, man, like, follow, share, subscribe, all that good stuff on all the social medias, right? Just like the thing says, right down here. Like, subscribe, and follow. Hell yeah. Hook it up. But more importantly, if you know somebody that would benefit from watching the live streams or a group, share it with them. Blast it out there. Be like, hey, Grandma. Yeah, there's this dude that builds Gundams online. Yeah. No, I'm going to send you the link. Yeah, watch him. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. Then your grandma is following, and then you can chat with your grandma in the chat, social distancing, and then your grandma gets into building Gundams. It's really that simple. And then you have a pastime to share with Granny. Like, it's a win-win combination. Come on now. Trying here, folks. I'm trying. Right? Anyway. Andrew's got a question for us.
We have a question.
He says, do you think I could get away with making a weapon for a kit in the Bandai Hobby Open? Absolutely, yeah. Scratch building is perfectly fine. Yeah. Scratch building is absolutely acceptable. So you'll be 100% good with that. 100% good. Terry T says, fun until after Bandai Open. Nice, right? Mr. Bill Rushlam, the newly appointed moderator, I might add. He says, I'm really excited to see where you all take your kits for this Bandai Open. Yeah, me too, man. Me too. And everybody's getting hype on this. Everybody. Like, I see a ton of posts here, especially like on Instagram and stuff like that. Building for Bandai Hobby Open. People are snapping their kits and all sorts of stuff. So, I think it's going to be really freaking cool. So, if you are not aware of the Bandai Hobby Open, which, shame on you, you should be, Bandai Bluefin here in the U.S. is holding a competition in lieu of GBWC. It is for U.S. residents only. Sorry, everybody else. But there's 3 categories: beginner, intermediate, and advanced. Based on your skill level, right? The cool difference between GBWC and the Bandai Hobby Open is that the Bandai Hobby Open is open to all Bandai Hobby kits. So, Gundam, Star Wars, Digimon, Pokemon, Star Blazers, 30-minute missions, the old Votoms kits, right? Toy Story kits, right? So, yeah, if you've got a Bandai model kit or kits or whatever, and you live in the US and you want to enter, this is the competition. It started on May 1. It ends on September 1. I am a judge for this competition, so bring your A game. Bring your A game. Arf Aurora says, Andrew Palaber? Yeah, absolutely. It's a Bandai model kit, right? Yeah, 100%. 100%. Let's see here. Travis Paschal is over there. Travis, I hope I'm saying your last name right. I'm sorry if I don't. But he's got a really good question here.
We have a question.
He says, are they looking for more of kit bashing? With Bandai kits, would out-of-the-box builds be overlooked? That's a wonderful question. No. Because since there are 3 different skill levels, beginner, intermediate, and advanced, depending on your skill level, yeah, you can build something like straight out of the gate. So if you want to build just, say, like a master grade, RX-78, you can totally do that. If the craftsmanship and the creativity and everything is in there, yeah, that's not going to get overlooked at all. It's all about attention to detail and everything like that. Now, mind you, yes, I've been talking about crazy kit bashing and stuff like that here since the thing began, simply because I want to get people kind of going and kind of get the creative juices flowing and stuff like that, and just kind of really get people hype about this thing. That's kind of the reason why I've just been spitballing, like, these stupid kit bashing ideas, right? But no, you absolutely do not have to do like a kit bash to get noticed. You just have to build something cool, right? And if that's just a Gundam, so be it. If that's just a Star Wars kit, more power to you. So yeah. Oh, okay. Pascal. My bad. My pronunciations with things is just absolutely horrible, so my fault. But he said, Travis says, awesome, thank you. Man, you are so welcome, dude. And hopefully, like I said, hopefully you get going, and hopefully like you get excited about this thing like I am, because I'm excited to see what people can do, because like I've said so many times since this thing began, there is absolutely nothing to lose and everything to gain, right? The beautiful part about the Bandai Hobby Open is the fact that it's not a winner-take-all like GBWC. You don't have to be the best of the best, right? You just have to be the best in your skill category, right? So beginners competing with beginners, intermediates competing with intermediates, advanced and experts competing with them, right? So that's the beautiful part about this. It's not a winner-take-all. So, man, get hyped, get excited, get the creativity flowing, and just get after it, get building. That's the beautiful part about this. It really is. Really is. Lorenzo Moroni's over there on YouTube. He's giving us a rock and roll. What's going on, Lorenzo? Alex Andrews says, 0.6 BMC chisel came in today. Want to get that 0.15 and 0.3 before I started practicing. Nice, dude. At least you can get some notches in, right? Corey Gaming is over there on YouTube as well. He says, how do I sign up? Dude, this is a wonderful question. So, to sign up for the Bandai Hobby Open, number 1, of course, you have to be a U.S. resident. That's absolute stipulation. Number 2, go to Bluefin's website, or I have a link on my Facebook page. There's also a link I posted about it in the Mecha Army Facebook page several days ago on Monday, so you might have to scroll down a little bit to find it, but those links are there. If you can't find them there, hit up Bluefin's social media sites and stuff like that. You'll be able to find it. The sign up with the rules and everything, it's right there. It is online only. Keep that in mind, kids. It's online only, right? We don't want you getting the Rona. Bill says, Alex, do you have an X-Acto knife and an NT cutter or OLFA hobby knife? Alex is like, nah. Bill says, signing up is done on the Bluefin site. Thank you, Bill. Lorenzo Moroni, he says, any restrictions for bases/dioramas? And is there a site already to post kits? Sorry if it's been said. No, actually, that's great, Lorenzo. Actually, there is no restrictions on bases or dioramas. Think of the skill sets are it. Skill sets. The rule sets is the same as GBWC. Same exact rules, right? So you can scratch build, all that good stuff. You can't obviously use like bootleg kits, resin conversion kits. Now you can use original B Club resin. Yeah, if you have it, then you're one of the lucky ones, right? There's not a lot of it around anymore. But yes, you can do dioramas, you can do crazy bases and stuff like that, just like for GBWC, all that fun stuff. And you can just go hog on it. Yeah. There is a site. It's on Bluefin's website. And like I said, you can find that link on Bluefin's social media sites. You can find it on my Facebook page, and then also in the Mecha Army Facebook group as well. And if you guys aren't a part of the Mecha Army Facebook group, what the hell are you waiting for? Go join. All right, so let's see. Alex is like, NT Cutter, and Bill says NT Cutter is the small hobby knife that Tim uses. Yeah, this little guy. He's the cute baby knife. Anyway, Bill says, save snap blades. You can file it down and use as a chisel, at least until you can get the actual chisels. Yeah, exactly. Alex says, just nippers, sanding paper, to me, a masking tape, and cement. Too bad Mom threw them out last week. Oh, thanks, Mom. Bitch. No. Totally playing. Lorenzo says, thanks. You are welcome, man. All right, so... kids, let's get to work, yeah? Let's get zoomed in there. Let's go camera 2 there. Let's bring in the chest. Focus. There we are. All right. So we were working on this jobber yesterday. We started to... let's get this propped up a little bit. We started to scribe those panel lines there on the side. We've gotten, so far, we've gotten this panel line down here. Scribed in. We've got this panel line here, and if you missed it, what we went ahead and did, and I can't find it, I don't see it anywhere. Here it is. Whew. We made this cool little T-shaped panel jig, right, so that we could duplicate that panel line right there on the other side. Yep, just like that. Easy peasy. Yeah, anyway. We don't need this anymore because we already used it, right? But, anywho. Excuse me. So we duplicated that line there and there. Everything is good to go. Now, we're going to tackle this little guy up here, and then we're going to go ahead and install our little circular detail, whatever that may be, right down yonder here. But first, let's see. Let's go back to the Mech Army. Travis Pascal. See? Yeah, I said it right this time. He says, did you have a personal favorite that didn't win the Galactic Model Contest? Ooh, that's a great question. And here.
We have a question.
I had a few. Yeah, man, I had a few. I loved the 2 ATSTs that we kind of highlighted on the show. Both of them scored very high on my charts. I really liked. Actually, the ones that we highlighted were all very high on my scoring. So I loved all of them, right? There was one that didn't get shown, and it was a really, really nicely done little vignette of R2 and 3PO. And man, the finish, the finish on especially 3PO and on the top part of R2, the metallics, were really nice on this thing. And I forget who created it, but those were kind of like some of my favorites. But the one that didn't get shown, the 3PO and the R2 little vignette, and they were on this kind of little sand, this base, that made it look like sand. And then the cool thing is that behind the two there were tracks for R2, and then there were footprints in the sand for 3PO. And I'm gonna tell you, that was a really cool one. That one scored pretty high on my list, but it just unfortunately didn't place very high on the others for some strange reason. The finish on C-3PO was just really nice because it still had that kind of mirror gold finish, but then it was slightly weathered, dirty in the crevices and everything, like the sand had kind of gotten in there and stuff like that. The feet were nicely weathered and all that, and that's hard to do on that kit because that kit has got some seam lines. Kudos to Bandai for hiding them and everything, but yeah, it was a really cool piece. I really liked that one, kind of especially. Yeah. Travis says, any troopers you like? Hint, hint. Oh, okay. So Travis is trying to lead me in a direction there. Okay. Yeah, there was this one by this guy Travis. I don't know. It was pretty cool. No, I don't. There were a bunch. I'm not gonna lie to you, Travis. Let me. You know what? Hey, I think I still have the entries here on my desktop. Let me take a look. Let me take a look for Travis. All right, because he there's obviously some direction going. Right. Let's see. Where did it go? There it is. Let's see. Travis, did you get yours in like a little bit later? Because we got these in like 2 batches. I don't know. So I don't have it here on my desktop. He says, LOL, sorry, had to do it. Just admire your work. Aw, man, thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. That means a lot. Yeah, and from what it looks like yours might have been in the second batch that I don't have here on this particular computer, right? So I can take a look and I can give you some feedback if you want. Yeah, last minute. Okay, that's why. Okay, cool. Because the last minutes, David checked the kind of like at the 11th hour, so to speak, and we had like 11 or 13, something like that, entries that we had in addition to the ones that came in before. So that would make sense. Yours is probably out there on the other computer. So unfortunately, I won't be able to look at it like in real time. But hit me up after the fact, dude, and I can give you some feedback. Yeah, I can definitely do that. Not a problem at all. All right, so let's see. Plasticology Inc. says, what a good host. Hey, we try, right? We're family. We're family here. We're Army. We're Mecha Army, right? Travis over there says, dude, that means so much. Thank you. Ah, bruh, no. Feelings mutual, buddy. Let's see. Alex Andrews says, in my nearest place to stock any hobby stuff is 60 to 80 mile trip. Even then, it's mostly Tamiya paints and Bionicle. What? Man, 60 to 80 miles. It's like maybe a 2-hour drive, depending on traffic and distance, that is. Let's see. Andrew says I'm probably going to need a replacement Olfa blade soon. Yeah, there you go. Hit up Amazon or Lowe's here in the States carries those. If you go into like their hand tool sections, they've got the Olfa products and all that. So, yeah. But let's see. RF Aurora, that was... We just read that. Sorry. Gert McDirt's over there on YouTube. He says, I got mine off eBay. I think if you have an X-Acto handle, you could just get the refill pack of blades and be good to go. There you go. Alex Andrews says, I'm going to, excuse me, just when my bank looks a bit better and when this all has calmed down a bit. Yeah, that's a big time, right? Bill says, Alex, you can often find hobby stuff in discount stores, home improvement stores, even sewing thrift shops carry tools you can use in this hobby. Oh, dude, yeah. Yeah. But Alex seems to be like out in the boondocks, like 60 miles away. He says, I get that far out like once every 8 months or so. Hooah. Yeah, man. Bill says, I was just trying to give you options. Yeah, man. Yeah, he's Alex is out there, buddy. Superset 5 Mike's over there on Twitch. He says, just got a call from my employer and it looks like I'll be going back to work on the 26th. Hope I'll have enough free time to work on my entry for Bandai Open. Hey, that's a good thing though, Mike. That's a good thing, right? It's a good thing. Financial security is always a good thing, right? Especially now. So that's not a bad thing. Just be safe. Just be safe. Plasticology says for Bionicle nonetheless. Yeah, there you go. Alex says I'd have to go to Birmingham or Worcester. Worcester? I don't know. People say that. Like here in the States, up in New England, it's Worcester or something, right? Whatever. Or however you spell it, he says, to get some form of supplies. He says, I drove 80 miles last week. It was not fun. That was from Andrew, yeah. Greek Nakos says, congrats to Superset. Stay safe and take precautions. I second that. Alex says, I don't live in the boonies. It's just there's nothing much hobby-wise around. Gotcha. He says it's mostly clothes shops, fast food joints, pubs, etc. I gotcha. I was envisioning like this picturesque, English countryside, with the herds of sheep rolling by and the sun setting. You just ruined it for me, Alex. Thanks. Totally fucking with you. Anyway, let's get back to work, yeah? Let's pry this piece off here. And let's get the eyes on. There we go. Set them down. Rock and roll. All right, so, kiddos, what we're going to do here is we're going to scribe out this little piece right here. We're going to do some perimeter scribing because this is a raised, pre-molded little part there. We're going to scribe that right around there. And then we're going to bring it down and around and up. And there's actually a pre-molded line right there that we'll just reinforce. Okay? So, Alex says, I wished him. I damn well wish I lived in that kind of setting. Nice. Oh, man. All right, here we go. All right, so working with the 0.15. We're just doing a simple perimeter scribe real quick first. And this is going to be pretty easy because this is just two straight lines right around this piece. Very simple stuff. There we go. All right. There's one, and then we'll pivot this, go right this way. That. Make sure that these are connected in that corner. And there we go. Looks a little bit deeper, has a nice little shadow to it. So excuse me. What we're going to go ahead and do next is to bring this piece down. We're just going to kind of freehand this thing here real quick. Now again, freehanding is only something that you want to attempt when you're completely comfortable with your skill set and these tools. Because a lot of things can go very, very wrong when you try to raw dog one of these lines. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to scribe in this pre-molded line up here. Am I even on cam? Nope. There we go. Sorry about that, kids. Alright, we're basically just getting this line established here. Getting that nicely reinforced and deepened. Bring down the corresponding line on this side because that's important. We want all this to look like it's separated. Even though it's not, we want to give it that illusion, right? That's important. Alright, so now that we have this line and this line established, now we can freehand connect the two. Okay, groove is established there. Excellent. And now we just drag that line. Okay. Now we'll pivot this and come from the other direction on this line. Mainly because I don't want to blow out this top part here, right? Up on this side. Because since that's not, well, since it's connected at an angle like that, you can easily blow that corner right out and take way too much plastic out of there. You want to avoid that. That's the big thing, right? That's the big thing. And there we are. All right. Sandpaper. Who's got the sandpaper? Ah, there it is. Hiding on me here. Let's do a little bit of cleanup sanding on these surfaces. Just like that. And clean that out with our little toothbrush. And then do a last little bit of cleaning here with the actual chisel. You just want to get that the plastic dust and everything out of here, right? That's the big thing. And of course, I'm not on screen. There we go. All right. So let's take a look at that a little bit closer here. So there's that panel line scribed in there. Ooh, there we are. How it's focused and nice and shadowed there. That's all now. Once that's painted, we can either just leave it the same color, or we can paint that like an accent color if we wanted to, right? We could have, excuse me, we could have this armor below it here be white, and then we can paint this maybe like a very, very light gray. Just something to have a little bit of contrast, right? Same thing with this little part down here, this little kind of protrusion almost. We can maybe paint that, you know, like a darker gray or something. I don't even know at this point. I don't even know. Just kind of spitballing ideas here, right? All right. So now we want to go ahead and put something right there, some sort of circular type of detail. Now, what I have in mind is to put in a little plastic detail, but with kind of a twist. We're not going to surface mount this thing. Excuse me. We're going to recess it a bit, right? So hang with me here, and I'll show you what I mean in just a second here. Just trying to find something in this mess of crap over here on my desk. That doesn't go there. That goes up there. We don't need these right now. Come on. Those go away. That goes down there. These are fine. Those are fine. Those are fine. Okay. I must have put it away then. Let's take a look. Where here? Nope, that's not it. Alright. Dragging out the Boxo metal parts and stuff for like from last night, right? That's what we're looking for. That's what we're going to be using. Alright, good stuff. Found it. Hey, there's Zach. Speaking of Zach, good timing. We're going to be using that. Zach, I have not been to the post office today. The shit hit the fan, so to speak, and I was on the phone pretty much all damn day. So, I have not been able to pick up the stuff that you sent. But again, thank you. Appreciate you. Alright, so we're gonna dump out our little spinny chisel thingies here. Spin blades, if you want to call them that. I don't know. Now, it does appear like I'm missing one. Which one am I missing? 2.2, there's 3, there's 1.4, and then there's 2.0. So, 2.2, got that. 1.4, got that. 2.6. That, oh! Haha, found it. Bingo, now we're in business. Alright, so, what do we want to do here on the side of this armor? Shit, as I drop the damn frame I was going to use. Hang on. And we're back. Alright, so I was grabbing for this little frame of Kodo parts here, this little P114, right? These are kind of your off size little circular pieces here. As you can see up at the top here, it goes 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, and then 4.5. So, not your nice even measurements. So I do sometimes like to use these in bingo right there. That is what we want. I sometimes like to use these in instead of the normal full sizes, because these give somewhat of a different look, right? Alright, so we're going to add 2 of these minus molds here. And these are just very traditional minus molds. They basically look like flathead screws, almost. Just with the single slot going across, right? So we're going to use these as our inserts, right? Now, problem is picking these little guys up because these are only 2.5 millimeters in diameter, right? So chopping the nubs off these and clearing these pieces is a bit tricky. I'm not going to lie to you. It's a bit tricky. Having a dainty little NT cutter blade like this definitely absolutely helps, though, because this gives great dexterity. You can control your knife much easier. Okay, so there's one cleaned up. Let's get this guy cleaned up next. Okay. Ooh, there we go. Now we got it. All right. Just trying to spin this thing around. It's a damn task in itself, I swear. Alright, and we'll clean this little guy up. Just like that. Alright, so now we've got these two little 2.5 millimeter pieces here. Now, what we want to do is try and locate our install point, right? So we'll stab that little guy there, and we'll kind of get a base understanding of where this needs to go, right? And I think it's going to go farther back and up than what we marked, because this is a little bit bigger, right? So let's go ahead and let's see here. There it is. All right, so we're gonna go up into the piece about, I don't know, 2.5 millimeter. Let's mark it so we know right there, and then we'll come across at about that same point, right? All right, so now let's go ahead and see if our placement works for this. And that's going to be right about there. Yeah, okay, so that works. 2.5 by 2.5. All right, so what we're going to do next is we're going to take our little generalized scriber here, and this is just a machinist scriber. You can get this off Amazon, but we're going to push that into the plastic and make ourselves a nice little pilot hole, right? And then, because that shifted the plastic around, going to just trim off those little displaced plastic there. So now we have a flat surface one more time. All right, so the next procedure is to actually drill our pilot hole. And for that, we want to go ahead and drill like a 0.5 millimeter or so hole here. Not all the way through. You don't even need it all the way through. You just need it deep enough to where the little kind of guide tip on the spinny chisel blade can rest and center itself, basically. All right. So there's about 0.5 millimeter drill bit size, and let's try to pick this up here. Shit. Really? There we go. Pop that in there. Secure that nice and tight. Now, what we'll go ahead and do is drill our hole. And like I said, you don't need to go all the way through. You just need to go deep enough to where that little guide tip, whatever you want to call it, will be able to center this spinny chisel blade. And even if you do go all the way through, it's not a big deal at all. All right, so that looks deep enough. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove our little drill bit. We're going to pop that back right in there and put this back into the set. Now, since these little guys are 2.5 millimeter, we can obviously use 2.5 millimeter, but it's going to be better if we use 2.6 because that'll give us a little breathing room around the sides of this thing. And we just pop this right into there in our pin vise, right? And now we have a nice spinny chisel blade thingy. I know these terms are so damn technical, right? What are you gonna do? All right, and then we just go to town spinning the chisel blade thingy. Oh yeah, see that focus? See that placement right there? That's purty. That's going to be purty. All right, and then we just go to town making our recess here, and this is going to be basically make a flat bottom hole in the plastic that we can then set our little minus mold in there and have it be recessed, right? This just makes a really, really, really good look. And the cool thing about these spinny chisel blade thingies is that the ones that Zach sent me from Galactic Toys have this kind of chamfered edge on both sides, right? So when you set this in there, we'll dry fit this here real quick. When you set this in there, see it's got a nice reveal on all sides there, right? Now tell me that's not a good look. That's awesome. All right, cool. Let's dump this little guy out there. Spin him back round. Stab him pretty good. And let's get just a little bit of super glue. So we're gonna use our little super glue palette here, right? And then just a teeny drop of this. Dip the part in there. Wipe off the excess a little bit. And then, let's see, let's get our orientation. We're going to set this at an angle here. Press that into place. Let's see if we stab it. Ah, yep. Now if we stab this again and it pulls up, we're going to need to reapply. Yep, alright, so we'll need to reapply. We obviously didn't get enough super glue on there. Or we wiped too much off. Either or. Still though. Bad times. Alright, so that should be better. Let's go ahead with that. Alright. Now, to really get this into place, really set it in there. Then we're going to go ahead and pop a drop of that in there. Go ahead, sop up of the excess here because that just made Lake Insta set on this thing. All right, and there we go. There's that look. Let's go ahead and mount this onto the piece. Yeah. Yeah. That looks good. That looks good, right? That looks good. All right. And what I figure I'll do with this little minus mold part is probably paint this the same color as the armor, right? So it's not necessarily a heavily prevalent type of detail, right? But when you see it, you're like, oh yeah, that looks nice. But it's just very subtle, right? Very, very subtle. So, all right, let's get caught up with the chat here real quick, because I know there were probably a couple of questions and stuff that I missed. Yeah. Let's see. Superset back on Twitch over there. He says, thanks, I will. Our head safety person is big on safety. Nice. Andrew says, I want to hear Tim pronounce Worcestershire. Worcestershire. Or you mean, what is it, Worcestershire? Worcestershire? Yeah. Worcestershire. Worcestershire sauce. Whatever. I don't give a shit. Oh, man. Lucas, Mr. Persistent Turtle, he's over there with us on YouTube. What's going on, buddy? Bill says, Zach, do you guys have Master Grade Sandrock in stock? Andrew here was looking for one. Someone mentioned Galactic Toys. There you go. But yeah, hey, Bill, good job for looking out for Andrew for us. That's awesome. Zach says, no worries, man. I know the feeling today has been a day for me too. Yeah, buddy. Alex, spinny chisel thingies. Dude, what better name is there? I swear, what is this, Neuron? Or just, I know they're distributed by Madworks, but Neuron should totally just rename these spinny chisel thingies. Just call it a day. Spinny chisel thingies. That's all you need. Done. Zach says negative, currently out of stock. Womp womp. It happens, right? Alex says, after watching the latest ep of Re-Rise, really want to make a diorama of that scene, not spoiling it for those who haven't seen it yet. Tim, I won't see it either because I am not I am not into that shit. And even Bill says Tim probably won't watch it. Build Fighters Divers is not his cup of tea. He's definitely more of a UC guy. God damned right. Now, mind you, I do like AU stuff as well. I like Wing. I like 00. I like Seed. I like IBO. Yes, I said Seed. Shut up. Yeah, I'm not picky, except for G Gundam. Yeah. God, man. people have an affinity for G Gundam. I'm telling you right now. Like, the people that like it are defensive on it. Scary, actually. Anyway. Alex says, just need to learn how to do dioramas. Yeah, hey, it's all good. Alex Andrews says, I know he was just using Tim as an example. Oh, yeah, well. I know Tim won't watch it. Yeah, no, yeah. Let's see. Bill says to Alex, there are some great guys to watch for dios. I would highly recommend Flimburger and Nozaku Boy, both on Instagram. Yes, I would do it. I would totally recommend those two as well. Wonderful chaps, both Australian, by the way. I know James Nozaku Boy. Like, that's his thing. He gets into dioramas. And then Flynn, he's done some really great dioramas as well. And he's building this one kind of garage bay with a 1/35th Gundam hand from the UC Hardgraph sets. And it just is awesome. Like, he's got this welder guy on top of the arm, you know, kind of hunched over and everything, and then he's got this little LED. I guess it's on like an Arduino board or something like that, but it flickers to simulate the welding and everything. Just awesome stuff, man. So I can't wait to get that to see that shit done. Like, that's gonna be really, really cool. So yeah, Nozaku Boy and Flynn Burger over on Instagram, definitely worth your follows. Hell yeah. Alex says, thank you, Bill. I'll take a look later. If I open another tab, the stream will probably crash. Jesus. Bill says both of their GBWC entries last year were amazing dios. Yeah, 100%. Hell yeah. Brandon says, oh snap, Bill with a moderator status. Yeah, man. Yeah. He was newly appointed last night. Newly appointed. The blue is still fresh on him, shall we say, right? Let's see. Alex says, is that just a pin vise the blades are in? Yes. It's just the standard Zona ball grip pin vise. That's all that it is. Just with the zero focus, with the zero clearance chuck on here, right? Just the teeny tiny chuck that basically just goes, once you crank it down, it goes to zero. That's all you need. Those two. Easy combination. Easy. Let's see. Bill says, there was a lot of conversation last night, especially on the Bandai Open. Yeah. Yes, there's fit in a pin vise. Yep. Brandon says, a show the wife and I watch together is on Wednesdays, so I almost always miss the late stream. Aw. It's okay. It's okay. Superset 5 over there on Twitch. Mike has a question.
We have a question.
He says, will I be able to use the H hangers as part of my dio for the Bandai Open? You should be able to. The Hasegawa ones. Yeah. Or no, what are they? They're not Hasegawa. Why did I say that? Kotobukiya. Yeah. You definitely can. Well, you should be able to. I don't think it's because it's background shit, right? It's not part of the kit itself, so to speak. I think you should be fine. I've seen people use those before, and they got away with it. You should be fine. But now I'm second thinking myself. No, you should be fine. All right. Brandon says it's stupid. LOL. It's the MTV challenge. We have just watched every season of it since it's been together. Nice. So we watch it after the girls go to bed. Aw, sweet, right? Bro Builder, Mr. Brian, he says, hey dudes, what's cracking? What's going on, Brian? Good to see you, buddy. Alex says, so that detail would be like a giant locking bolt or something for the armor. Yeah, pretty much. Terry T says, it's Worcester. Or as Bostonian would say, Worcester, right? Worcester sauce. Worcestershire. It's so stupid. Gert McDurr says, I picked up some of those spinny chisel thingies recently and some photo etch details with it. How would you go about painting the photo etch? Like, what type of primer and masking? That's a great question. Actually, Gert, that should have been an official question. Just like that, right? So what you want to use is something like this, right? This is Mr. Metal Primer, right? And it just comes in a little can, one of these mini cans, right? Because you don't need much. So what you do is you hit the little metal parts with a shot of this, let it dry, let it cure, and then stay up there. All you got to do is then prime everything else in just standard primer. So Mr. Surfacer or Tamiya Fine L or what have you. That piece now with the Mr. Metal Primer on it will accept that normal primer, and then you can basically paint it just like any other piece. So yeah, it's all you got to do. It's one little extra simple step, and you're off to the races. Yeah. Let's see. Superset 5 says it's okay. I like Seed too. Yeah, man. I mean, it wasn't terrible. Like, so many people have like this deep-seated hatred for Seed, right? I don't understand it. I don't know the rationality behind it, mainly because, like, I watched it, and yeah, you know, there are some whiny, bitchy little characters and stuff like that, but you got to get past that and look to the amazing kind of robot designs and the fighting and the carnage there, because that's just what I think we all really enjoy, right? I'm just saying. Brandon says, anyone here ever build the Bandai Krillin DBZ figures? I have not. One Ungawa. I hope I'm saying that right. He says, G Gundam is nostalgic for some, like Wing is for others. Yeah, fair. Oh, it auto-corrected to spin you. Oh, spinny. Oh, yeah. Spin you. Spin, yeah. Bill said, Seed had some great mech designs. They did, right? Hell yeah. The Blitz? Come on now. Come on, son. Andrew says, I love Seed, right? Brian says, can't do Seed, it Wing, nope, tried multiple times, and nope. Fair enough. I mean, to each their own, though, right? You know, at the end of the day, we all like what we like. Zach Fleisch says, those handles are sweet. Dude, they are. Like, that's why I got two of them, right? To swap in different size chisels, little grindy bits, all sorts of stuff. Those are worth their weight in gold. For real. Andrew says, I got about halfway through Build Divers. Need to finish that and watch Re-Rise when I feel like reading it again. Anyway. Alex says, problem is Re-Rise is back on hiatus after coming back for 5 weeks. Don't know when it's coming back yet again, right? Samuel says, I don't mind those series. Not my favorite, but I like the concept, and it fills my Gundam anime needs. You know, when I need something like that, I'll just rewatch Unicorn or Thunderbolt or really any of the UC ones. Yeah, I'll just do that. But that's just me. Like what you like. I don't care. Gert McDurk says, awesome. Thanks, Tim. You're welcome, buddy. Let's see. Bill says to Alex, you can look on my anime list or live chart, and they will tell you when the next episode is scheduled for release. There you go. Andrew says, if I had known about those hole cutters, I would have added them to my order. To Zach. Nice. Yeah, hey, man. These little spinny chisel thingies, copywritten, trademarked, all that now. I mean, they're great. They're really, really great. They make this nice, like I said, this nice little flat bottom hole, right? I like the beveled ones. I would love to get the straight angled ones, just to do different types of things, because sometimes you don't want that beveled hole. Sometimes you just want a nice little, just slightly inset, kind of flat bottom hole for these things, right? Especially for like the very thin photo etch circular parts. So I'd love to get the straight ones here eventually too. So that'll be a purchase for the future. I got bills to pay. All right, let's get these things back in here so I don't lose them again. And also the 2.6, which I did lose temporarily before, but then we found it, so that's all good. All right, we're going to set that off to the side there. We're also going to set this little guy, because we don't want to lose that little guy, right? We're going to set him off right over here. There we go. Okay, so we've got that look. That looks really, really quite nice. All of that is coming together very, very well. Now, we're going to set this aside. We're gonna focus on something a bit different. Right? I am going to show you guys. I don't know if we've ever covered something like this before on stream. I've talked about it. I know I've talked about it, but I don't know if we've actually ever done something like what we're about to do. If we did, I don't remember it. Let's put it that way, right? So let's put all these fragile pieces off to the side. Let's get all this stuff kind of out of the way, because we're going to need some space here, right? Zoom out. There we go. Nice big open swath of space here, right? Wow, that almost looks like my desk is clean, just from what you guys can see, but it's totally not, right? Totally not. All right. So, what we are going to do is work on the base. This guy right here. Now, I have not touched this, as you can see, since I got it routed and everything like that. So the edges are still just, you know, raw MDF, and we've got to fix that before we can move on. So we need to get the sides and the top. We need to get this all plated up, right? And I don't know if we're going to be able to get all of this done today, but we should be able to get at least a decent portion of it, right? So for that, we're gonna need this, and we're going to need this, and we're going to need that, and that, and that. Oh, and that. All right. So, we're gonna need a lot of this. Trust me. First things first. Keep your tip clean. There we go. Everybody likes a nice clean tip, okay? Remember that. Always remember that. All right, so we're going to get that off of there. So this will brighten up just a tad bit more, because now it's all super dark because we got the white plastic in here, right? So, where is it? There it is. I set it to auto. Damn it. Oh, well. We'll deal with it. We'll deal with it. All right. So first things first. Let's get some measurements on this. Yeah. First thing we got to do is measure the length of this side. Now, if we go 11 millimeters on a strip, we'll be perfectly fine. If we go 12, we'll be 100% safe. So we're going to set this off to the side just temporarily. We'll bring in this little scrap piece first, and then what we're going to do is we're going to mark 12 millimeters on both sides, connect the two, cut it, and then that will be our strip. All right. And we're not going to need the eyes, so we're going to set these off to the side here. All right, so get this right up against the edge. There's 12 millimeters right there. We're going to do the same thing down yonder here. Boom. And get this taken down, and 12 millimeter there, right? All right, so now all we have to do is use our big old ruler here and connect these 2 points. And we got ourselves a 12 millimeter strip of plastic. There we go. Now, hold that into place as much as you possibly can. Lightly score the plastic first, and then go back, cut a couple more times, just like that. All right, now we didn't cut through the plastic, but we made a nice groove there. Now, score and strip, or score and snap, I should say. Just like that. Bend it this way, and there's our 12 millimeter strip, okay? Now, what we've got here, we've got enough to set this on one bevel, just like that. And we might even have enough for this part up here, but I don't know that for a fact, unfortunately. But what we're going to do is we're going to mark this as close as we possibly can. Right there. And let's see if we have enough. Yeah, cool. That should actually be enough. So, what we'll do make our score there. And now snap this, and yeah, see, we have just enough there. Perfect. Perfect. All right, so we're going to save this. We don't want to get rid of it, right? We don't, because we can't install it right this second. What the hell is this? Something on the mat that's causing issues. There we go. Now we're back in business. Okay, so we've got this strip here, and this is just long enough now to fit right there, right? So we're gonna go ahead, pop big old swath of super glue here. We need to get this applied pretty quickly because this MDF is going to sop up this super glue like crazy. We need to work quick also because that super glue is going to set very quickly. Make sure your positioning is good. Make sure this is nice and flat. And then press this sucker into place. Now, the thing to keep in mind about MDF, it's a wonderful, wonderful material. It's very stable. It does not react to ambient moisture, meaning moisture in the air and stuff like that. What it does react to is real moisture, like actual water drops and stuff like that. You put a drop of water on this thing and it will soak it up like a sponge, much like the super glue. But the super glue is actually thick enough to where it won't penetrate in immediately. So you do have a little bit of time in terms of placement and all that good stuff. So that is good, nice, and secure. I can't pull that off of there without using a lot of force, and I'm not going to right now. So you don't want to use Instaset on this. That would be a very, very bad thing, right? Because that'll sop it up and then just like a sponge, right? Like a sponge. Andrew says, Andrew's got a question.
We have a question.
He says, Tim, are your tables made out of MDF? Probably. This is actually a melamine, which is it's basically MDF laminated with a material on top, which is non-porous. Let's put it that way, right? Well, I guess it is porous, but it's not nearly as porous as the MDF, right? But yeah, it's melamine. So if you look, especially like down here in this section, where I've cut a lot of it, in the coating, the melamine topping has come off. Yeah, that it soaks up water like crazy. So yeah, you don't want to get water on this, not at all, not even a little bit. Now, since we're not getting 12 millimeters out of this strip twice, we'll just use this strip as it is. And we'll use this little guy here as a template for our little trim here. Just like that. And then we'll cut this little piece off. Just like there. Boom. Just like that. And then snap. Alright, so now we have enough plastic for our two little bevels here. Save these again, right? And then we've got enough plastic here. Ooh, just enough for this bevel on this side. Now, again, what we're going to go ahead and do, nice big old swath of super glue. Just like that. And it's safe to be liberal with your super glue amounts at this point, because I'd rather have too much super glue on here than not enough. Honestly. Alright, that's good there. Let's make sure everything is positioned perfectly. Make sure the ends are pressed in or pressed on as tightly as possible, because if this thing is going to peel, it's going to peel at the ends. This, like this end here, or this end here, right? If this thing is going to pop off, that's where it's going to pop off at. All right, press this into the MDF. Get that super glue working in your favor, right? Just like that. All right. So there, we now have the two sides, the two front-facing sides. Those are laminated. They're not trimmed yet. That's a whole different story. We'll tackle that later, right? Because we've got, when you look at it like this, see there? We call that low-hanging fruit. That overhang. We need to trim that off, because that's not gonna help us at all. It's gonna look like shit, actually, if you leave it on. So what we're gonna do next here is work on here. But before we can do that, we need to cut some more pieces. So we're gonna set that over there to the side, and we're gonna bring in this guy, this sheet here. Now, is this the same thickness? Let's measure. This is 0.75, so this is 3/4 millimeter. Let's just make sure here, because heaven forbid I use something different. Alright, cool, it's the same size. Goody gumdrops. Alright, so, how long are these strips here? These are about 26 centimeters. 26 centimeters. Oh yeah, perfect. Perfect. All right. And you want to work in, I know. You want to work in metric. It's just easier. Trust me, guys. It's just easier. Especially when it comes to scaled type of work. It's just easier to keep track. Trust me. It's so much easier. Alright. So we're marking 12 millimeters on each side here. And obviously, since this is a big piece, it's probably not showing up on the screen completely. I do have limitations on my camera. Right there. Okay, cool. So now what we can do is cut our new strip here. And what I'd normally do, I wouldn't cut this on this bench. I would not normally do this. I would normally take this over to my actual workbench that has a bunch of space and cut it over there. I just wanted to show you guys how I go about making kind of my bases and stuff, right? Watch your digits. Watch your digits. Ah, okay. That just slid. So we're going to use what we got. All right. So we scored it, and then it just, see that? It just breaks right along that score line. Easy stuff. Easy stuff. All right. So we'll set that off to the side there. We'll bring our base part back in here. Now this actually isn't the floor of the base. This is actually the wall standing up on the base. This is the vertical part. So let's go ahead and get this part measured here. And we're looking right about there. Okay. All right, good deal. Now, while we're at it, this is a nice trick. Score it, snap it, fold it over. Now, you've got a nice, easy template for the other corresponding side. And then you can just clip that off, throw that away because we don't need that. And now, you've got two completely exactly the same size. Easy. Save that. All right. So the reason why I'm doing the sides and the top is because if we try to glue this on here, we'd have to trim these corners and everything off. We're not to that point yet. We want to let the glue on the sides set. We're going to give that a while. We're not going to finish this today. I'm going to tell you that right now. It's 4:27 and we still got plenty of time, but I'm going to leave this cure at least until tomorrow. And you can actually feel, the weird thing is about super glue, it's a little bit of a thermo, has a little bit of a thermo, I don't even know the word, there's heat coming off of it. I'm sure somebody will help me out with the wording, but you can actually feel there, it's a little warm underneath this plastic. It's just the weirdest kind of thing. Science! But anyway. Alright, so again, big old swath of super glue. Right along there. And we quickly set this into place. Ah! Super glue bit me. And you're going to get super glue on your hands. Exothermic. Thank you, Ty Furious. Exothermic reaction. Yes. I couldn't. For some reason, the word escaped me. Exothermic. To release the heat. All right. So there is the top side, all glued into place. Very, very good. Now, this piece here is going to take a bit of time to fully laminate because you've got the front, obviously, which we've already done. You've got the back, which again we've already done. You've got 3 sides per surface, right? So 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 plus the 2, that's 17 surfaces on just this part alone, right? And you can't do them all at the same time, unfortunately, which is kind of the shitter of it. So, kind of the order of operations here. Sides and top. We'll flip it over, do the other sides, and the rest of the top. We let that cure for a day. We come back tomorrow, trim these pieces down, get them flush with one another. Then we can go back, we can do the diagonals on both sides. Let those cure overnight. And then come back, trim those. And then what we'll have is our beveled surfaces on both sides will be completely laminated, right? And then what we'll end up doing is the actual sides, right? The flat sides. So we'll do the same type of thing. The sides and the top. Let those cure, come back, do the actual top of the bevels, and then this whole piece will be completely laminated. 100% flush, cleaned, ready to go for paint and detailing. Yeah, it's a time-consuming process, kids. But you've seen what you've seen the kind of bases that I've made, especially with airdrop and the hummingbird. You can make some really kick-ass bases. One second. Let me show you what I'm working on all as well. So, for bases, I wanted to make a base for the Blue Destiny, right? So let's get this guy off to the side here. I actually had this base right here. Again, MDF coated in plastic, laminated and everything. I had this sitting around, this blank that was already laminated, but I went ahead and detailed it, and this is kind of what we got so far, right? And primed it, and now I'm starting to paint. I put the base layer down here, just this, kind of outside color. It's kind of a nice, almost greenish gray, so to speak, right? And so there's kind of the profile of everything. And what we got here is a bunch of cool different little things. So these little foot plates here I got off of a scrapped hanger base from a Zeta 2.0. Had to widen these, so I had to cut these right down the center, widen each one by about 4 millimeters, and then sandwich everything back together. Those came out real nice. And then the rest of it is just kind of greeblies and stuff. So these two parts here, resin cast greeblies that we did, right? These two parts here, resin cast greeblies. This little vent, all resin cast greeblies that we did from the greebly plates. Simple stuff, right? These two little circles here, these little circles here, these two little mini vents here, those are all just coatable Kia parts. Simple. And then this is just cut styrene, and then I went ahead and scribed a border in that. Nice big old Blue Destiny decal will go right smack dab in the center, and then the BD will stand right on top of this thing. And let's get you kind of a preview here for this, right? This guy, well, his feet will slide into place there. And let's see if I can pick this up without dropping the model. Take your bets, kids. Place your bets. I'll hold this with two hands here so you guys can see, right? But, and actually we'll go camera 1 for this. So that's basically gonna be what the presentation, right? It's gonna look nice. It's gonna look nice. So the little foot pads and everything I think are really cool. They frame up the mobile suit really nicely. It just gives it a nice look, right? Really nice look. And it's a simple base. It's nothing crazy, right? It's not airdrop. It doesn't have a freaking support arm, and there's no parachutes, attached by magnets or anything. This is simplistic, right? Honestly, any of you could do this. Any single one of you could do this. Just follow my instructions. That's basically it, right? Oh man. But again, guys, if you want to continue learning how to make these bases, I've got the full tutorial on my website. It's kind of dumb simple. But the amazing thing that it gets you is it gets you plastic to glue on and to paint and to detail and to scribe and all of that. And that's kind of the secret. It's laminating that MDF, right? That's the key. That's the key. I see a lot of these guys using different different materials. They're using like what is it? The chain bases and stuff like that, and they just glue them together, and it looks okay. It's not great, but it's not like a display piece, right? I like display pieces. That's what I like putting together, right? So by making something like this, right, and doing the work and putting it in, that's what gets you these kind of museum quality style bases, that like I build and stuff. And these don't have to be, like I said, these don't have to be, crazy detailed or anything like that, right? All this is going to be, it's just going to be like an L, like this, right? That's the short and simple of it. And then the unicorn's going to be coming, flying out like that. It's not difficult, you guys. You can do it. You can do it. I'm like fucking Bobby Boucher over here. Yeah, it's pretty simplistic. You don't need power tools. You can do this with hand tools if you have them. It's a lot easier with power tools. I'm not going to lie, but you can totally get away with just hand tools and stuff like that. A sheet of MDF is cheap. Like a full on 8x4 sheet of MDF, like 8 foot by 4 foot 3/4 inch MDF. I think it's like $35. I would not suggest getting something like that unless you're going to use it. But they sell, I know Home Depot sells 2 foot by 2 foot squares. And I can cut that into a good number of bases. And I actually have like base blanks already cut and ready for lamination. The perfect example, the Kylo Ren model that I did for the Star Wars Destination Galactic thing that we did last week. Or was it this week? No, it was this week. Every day's Saturday, it all blends together. That base was a laminated blank that I already had on hand. Yeah. I just had it. It was just sitting here over on the bottom shelf of my workbench. I have like two or three of them. One of them was that one. One of them was for the Blue Destiny, and then I think I got another one over there somewhere. I don't know. I can't see it. But yeah, I just had them laminated up, pulled them out. I was like, yeah, let's make a base. I just trimmed, put a piece of 6.3 millimeter plastic strip on the bottom just as a kind of a trim piece. That was it. Painted it. Bada boom, bada bing. You got a base for Kylo Ren now. These are the types of things that you can do, guys. And that's what brings your model from here to up here, is that presentation, right? use that information. Run with it. I know some of you have some really good woodworking skill sets and the tools and all of that. Put it to use. Make some just wild and crazy shit, right? Like, look at airdrop. Like, it's got an arm that goes up like this and out like this and suspends the model in mid-fucking air. I'm not, trust me, I am not a woodworker. I know enough to be dangerous. I know enough to build, dumb shelves like this and a workbench and stuff like that out of MDF. I'm not talking about like cherry or walnut or anything like that, maple or it's fucking MDF. Like, come on, low budget. You can do this. You can set yourselves apart. You can set your models apart from the rest. A little bit of work. That's all it takes. A little bit of work. Anyway, let's get caught up with the chat before we move on, yeah? Let's see. Where did we leave off? Andrew says, all right, just wondering, thinking about making a work table for my workspace. Oh, Andrew, okay. So this comes from his question, are my work tables made out of MDF? So I think you meant the work benches. Like obviously you guys can't see the benches from this angle. And if I had a camera 3, I'd be able to tilt you over there and let you see them, right? But yes, they are made of MDF, and they are painted though. So that's a big thing. That the paint will help repel the water or moisture or whatever that you might spill on it. And then I also have a very thin sheet of steel on the top to obviously protect it, right? But another cool thing is about using the steel, and it's just a very, very thin sheet, and you can get these at Home Depot, Lowe's, whatever. And I just, contact cemented that down, so it's never coming up from there. But the cool part is you can use magnets on it, right? And you can, set things in place and, use neodymium magnets to set them in place, and then they will not move, right? So that's a great little kind of a thing to add to your workbench if you're going to make one. But yeah, if you're going to make your own work table or bench, absolutely paint your MDF. But honestly, these cheap tables here from IKEA are like $20 a piece. I've got 3 of them kind of in a U shape, and these are wonderful. Honestly, because I can drill into them, I can cut them, hack them, all whatever I want, and not really feel bad about it either, because they were $20, $60 investment, right? And I've completely modified a lot of them, so yeah, it's a small investment for a big return. So rather than actually making your own workbench, which mind you would be completely very satisfying, just go get some cheap IKEA tables and just not even worry about them at that point, That's just my 2 cents anyways. Let's see. Hey, Jason's over there on YouTube. He says, Team SD Buildoff time. Yeah, right? Fun till whenever. Andrew says, all right, just wondering, thinking about making a work table from my workspace. Gotcha. Jason says, I did a backdrop for Sabrina and I, Team Buildoff. You will dig it. Nice. Alex says, wouldn't leaving an overhang look okay if you were doing a display like it was coming up to the deck like jet fighters do on a ship? Maybe. For like what we're doing, probably not. It would just kind of look doo-doo, honestly. So trim everything, get it flush, get it looking nice, and then you can detail it however you want, right? And then you can glue whatever else on there. Brandon says Amazon recently had a 36 by 48 inch sheet of 0.5 millimeter styrene sheet for cheap, but now it's out of stock. Worth keeping an eye on those larger sheets when they pop up. I think it was $25 and free shipping. Yeah, I actually have one of those sheets. It's sitting over there behind my door. It's halfway decent. It's not the best plastic in the world, but it's usable. Let's put it that way, right? Let's see. Alex Andrews, that's the super glue bit me. Yeah, no, it got me a little bit, and I was stuck, so it bit me. Jason says, patience of a Jedi when building. Yeah, man, you got to. Everybody likes the base. Thank you guys, appreciate that. Andrew says you need a 1/100 hover truck to go with your Blue Destiny. Man, I don't want to ruin the look. I just want to, keep it mechanical, right? Let's see. Jason says it needs parachutes. Nah, not this one. Chris Degger says, going to your website right now. Nice to see the tutorial, yeah. Jason says, I watch and absorb knowledge from your videos. Aw, thank you, Jason. Appreciate that, buddy. JD's Gundanium Garage is over there on YouTube. What's up, JD? He says, I just made a bunch of sanding blocks following your tutorial, but I added 45 and 30 degree cuts to the ends to make for solid bevels. It's a great idea, actually. That's not bad. Lucas, Persistent Turtle says, it also gets you plenty of area to place decals, right? By the way, pick up Mecha Decals set 1 and 2. Thank you, Lucas. You get one of these. Appreciate it. Let's see. Manny says, LOL, you can do it. Love Rob Schneider, right? Jason says, trophy stores have spare plastic and wood bases that they don't use. They will just give you. I learned that from Clem. That's interesting. I don't have any real trophy places around me, so I don't know if that would work. But yeah, I mean, if you do, hell yeah, run it. Gert McDirk says, I've been trying to find some sort of cabinet door or portrait frame to use in the same way you're doing that, but just because I wasn't familiar enough to think of MDF. Thanks, man. Hey, you're welcome, buddy. Sam L says, MDF is so economical anyway. Yeah, totally, right? I mean, it's just dummy cheap. Terry T says, great tip for the Bandai Hobby Open. There you go, Terry. Run with it, man. Run with it. Alex Andrews says, good night all. Stay safe. Catch you for the Jesta RX tomorrow. Alex, take care, buddy. Thank you for watching. Persistent Turtle Lucas says, melamine is really good for worktops. It's 3/4 inch thick and coated on both sides. $28 a sheet. Yeah, you can't beat that, man. You can't beat that when it's stick. Andrew says, okay, that makes sense from the MDF talk a little while ago. Wanangawa says, buy 3 work tables or 1 high grade Penelope. Dude, isn't that the shittiest part, right? God, yeah. I mean, that really is kind of the short and skinny of it. 3 work tables or 1 high grade Penelope, yeah. Travis Stairs over there on Facebook. What's up, Travis? He says, hello all. Very, very good. All right, so we're caught up. Let's get back to work. Camera 2, here we go. All right, so I showed you guys all this. We don't need to repeat it, right? And if you didn't catch it, you'll be able to replay it on the video. But I mean, look at this. This is not going anywhere now. This is locked in. I can't. There's no way I'd be able to pull this up. No way at all. That's completely solid now at this point. But the inside and the surface of the MDF and all that, I want to make sure is completely cured all the way through. So we're going to leave this until tomorrow, or at least I'll leave it until tomorrow. And keep going around the other sides and everything. All right, so time check, 4:49. Okay. So let's move back onto the chest here. Whoop. You love those sound effects, don't you? Whoop. Anyway, let's get back to work on this a little bit, right? do a little bit more with this guy. All right, so what we've done so far, we went ahead and scribed all these lines here. We inserted that, installed that little circular detail. That all looks really, really quite nice. I think what we're going to go ahead and do is address these little boxy thingies up here that we just clipped off. So to get to that, what we're going to go ahead and do is, number one, remove these guys. Now my finger is coated in super glue, so it's hard to grip anything right now, unfortunately. But we're going to go ahead and try and remove this back piece without breaking anything. Let's see if we're successful. Looks like we'll be successful. And there we go. Perfect. All right. So we need to pull this off there, and then we need to get this popped off there. All right. So here's the little piece that we are going to be working with, right? So I need my eyes back on here because we're working with smaller pieces now. All right. So if you remember back when we were working on the head of this SDHG, there were kind of like box details right here, and we basically had to clip them off to allow the head clearance to fit actually on the body. We're not going to be recreating those or anything. We just need to fill these spaces, these voids back in, and basically just make them look natural, right? So what we're going to do, first and foremost, is just bring this down to a consistent level all the way across this piece. And the first thing that we're going to do, we're just basically going to trim this plastic off here. This is all just kind of step one, right? Now, just be very careful of your tender little digits here, because it would be bad, very, very bad, if you cut yourself like Chris Papps. So next thing we're going to do, we've got that cut down now. Bring out the file plate here, and then we can just kind of really take this down to zero. Okay, let's see how that looks so far. Yeah, see, that's getting that nice and flat and even. All right, let's continue on. Okay. Really good. All right, really, really good. We're getting there. We're getting there. See how that looks. That, boys and girls, that looks really good. That is nice and just dead flat right there. Excellent. Excellent. All right, so now what we're going to do next is plate over this whole kind of assembly here, right? And ideally, ooh, look at that. We'll be able to use that, won't we? Yes, we will. Joyous day. Joyous day. All right. So, yeah. See, that's just going to work. That's just That's just dumb luck on our part that this is going to work so well. All right, let's go ahead. We're going to cut this a little long, just so we have extra room to trim this down and flush, right? So we'll get this loaded up in our tweezers, and we'll get this piece held in here like this, and apply super glue. All over the top here. Okay, so there's that, and now we go about placing. Ah, shit. That's not good. That caught way too early. Let's see if that actually, since we had to remove it, I don't know if this is going to, I don't know if this is going to stick properly. But that grabbed quick. I hope you guys saw that. Just I set it down and it grabbed it. That usually does not happen. But man, that was a quick reaction. All right, let's see. Yeah, we've got, it's not, yeah, see, it popped right off. Okay, let's try that one more time, shall we? All right. Take two. Much better. Much better placement. There we go. Now we're working. Now we're working. Hell yeah. Yeah, perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. That's what we wanted. That's exactly what we wanted. Now, we're going to hit this with a little bit of Instaset in 458. Cool. So we'll get this trimmed up here in just a few seconds. All right, we're going to let that cook for a second or two. Let's get caught up here real quick, but first, hydrate. All right, so Andrew says laptop upgrade in progress. Hey, there you go. Gertmer Dirt says on the low budget ideas front, I was looking for sanding boards. Saw Wave had some buildable styrene ones, but I didn't like the shape and already had styrene, so I whipped some up this morning. He says I have to check out that MDF block tutorial too. Yeah, man. All the tutorials on my website are, I think, pretty useful for the most part, or else I wouldn't have made them. But yeah, the base tutorial, the sanding block tutorial, the one epoxy putty trick. That's always a good one too, right? All of those little tutorials I think are very, very useful. So yeah, check them out. Gumpler Ronan, he says hi. God, it's like B. Z says, what have I missed? And Jason says, you missed everything, Z. For real. Z, you have missed a bunch here today. We've done some shit, man. So we did most of this. We did all the scribing, well, most of the scribing on the side. Got that little circular detail installed there. I started to show everybody how to laminate an MDF base and all that. Answered some questions. And now we're gluing up this part here so that we can trim it and reinstall it back onto the shoulder unit for the unicorn here. But yeah, you've missed a decent amount. We're getting work done. We're putting in work, right? All right. Low-hanging fruit. And now we just trim this nice and flush. So like you guys have seen time and time again, the first pass is never a finished pass. The first pass is just cleanup, right? Just cleanup. And then after that, then you can kind of start your finishing passes, and then scrape it down nice and flush. And that's basically what that is. We're good. Same thing with the back, where the inner side here. Clean up pass first. And scrape that down nice and flush. And then we just continue to work our way around this piece. And watch your digits, because these little parts are notorious for people getting bit by their hobby knife. You don't want to get bit by your hobby knife, trust me. That hobby knife will just sneak up on you and just come and bite a chunk out of your skin. Shit ain't good. No bueno, as they say. Alright, so this piece is this is the beveled side of things, and this is going to be a little trickier because we want to continue that bevel, right? Be very, very careful. Alright, that angle looks good. Now, to clean this up, we're going to go ahead and get one of our jeweler's files here. And we just need to match the bevel. Oop. Focus. Focus. Damn it. Okay. Spin this around. Do the same thing from the other side. Get that bevel back into place. Pretty good. And now spin it and do it the long way, and that way you even everything out. One flat surface, one clean break point for the angle. Pretty. Alright, so we're going to clean that up with 600. Just a light sanding. Nothing crazy. Yeah. Alright, so let's see if we can't get you. Yeah, see that that nice clean break point there between the shadow and the highlight, that's what you're looking for, kiddos. Boom, right there. And then that nice flat angle. That is beautiful. All right, so the angle goes inside. Okay. So it goes like this onto the piece, and then this piece pops into there. Yeah, see? Okay. So that's where that piece bottoms out. It can't go in this direction anymore. But with that bevel there, see how that bevel's right underneath the collar? This thing will, once it's actually in place, let's get it in place first. That will tilt in and under that collar piece. As long as we have it squared up. Now, here we go. Moment of truth. Let's see if it'll work. Ah. Yeah. Just like that. It's not a huge range of motion, but for a high grade, it's not bad. You know? It's not bad. So there we go. Very good. Now, we're going to have to do a little bit more surgery later on, because now since we've raised this shoulder piece up a 1/2 mil, we're going to need to compensate the other parts of the shoulder here, right? It's a give and take. It's a give and take. So there we go. That's how you do it. Easy peasy. All right. Finito. Let's finish this one up for the day, yeah? Camera 1. Let's get caught up with the chat one last time. Gumpler Ronan says, dang, I'll have to watch that. I need to laminate an MDF tabletop. There you go. Now, shit, I don't have it. Hang on one second. Z, this is what you want. All right. This is the stuff. This is the stuff you want right here. This is 3M High Strength 90. This is spray-on contact adhesive. This is what they use to laminate tabletops. This is the stuff. This is what I use to laminate the big surfaces of my bases and stuff, the large ones. But then around the edges, I'll use super glue, right? But this is the stuff you want to use for big laminating. So if you're laminating an MDF tabletop, this is what you want. They sell it in Home Depot, probably Lowe's, but Home Depot is close to me, so that's where I get mine. Get you this, okay? That's what you want. That's what you want. 3M High Strength 90. Because once you spray that on and once you put those two things together, it'll never come apart. Never, right? Now, Z, the one thing that you want to do, you want to spray this on both surfaces. So you want to spray it on your laminate and you want to spray it on the countertop. Let it dry for probably a good 10-15 minutes and then take your knuckle and press onto that. If your knuckle comes up clean, that's ready to go. Slap them together. You will never get those two pieces of material to come apart. It just won't. It just won't come apart. That's what they use to laminate countertops with, like melamine and countertop laminate, whatever. But yeah. Z says, perfect. Thanks, Tim. You're welcome, buddy. Trust me, I had to learn these things the hard way. So, yeah. But, yeah, both sides, let it dry for about 10-15 minutes. Do the knuckle test. And don't do it with your fingertip, because you don't want to get that shit on your fingers. Your knuckle skin is smoother. You right in there on the stuff, pull it up. If it's clean, you're ready to go. So... let's see. RF says, you're removing the shoulder Vulcans, Tim. Yes, because they don't fit under the head. So why even have them there, right? Doesn't make sense. Let's see. R. Aurora says Menards. I don't know what that is. If that's a hardware store, they don't have them over here on the East Coast. I don't know. Tiger Fury says you can also spray both sides. Damn, Tim beat me to it. Yeah. But thank you, Ty. Appreciate it, man. Good stuff. All right, you guys. We're about to call this one a day. If you want one of these cool ass airdrop chibis, you know, it's got the Jesta designation on the side. www.childofmecha.com. Hit the store button up at the top. You will find this shirt, many more hats, prints of my work, all sorts of cool stuff. Go load up on that stuff. If you are interested in any of the tools and materials that we worked with here today, highly suggest you hit the Amazon link below somewhere here on YouTube and Twitch. That side, if you're watching on Facebook, I do get a bit of a commission based off the stuff that you buy, but it does not increase the cost for you. It goes to help out me, help out the stream, fuel our endeavors moving forward. There's a lot of cool stuff in that link, mind you, and I'm adding stuff all the time, so keep checking. But, you know, like I said, tools and materials, books for inspiration for your Bandai Hobby Open project. There are is gear for streaming. If you want to get into that, now is the perfect time. Aside from all of that, if you are interested in kits, tools, paints, accessories, Mecha Decals, Sheets 1 and 2, hit up our good friends right down here, USA Gundam Store. Adam and the fine folks will definitely have what you need. Now, lastly but not leastly, if you like what we do here, if you learn and you pick up tips and techniques, like, subscribe, follow on the social medias. If you enjoy this content, if you think someone else would enjoy this content or benefit from it, or a group or something, share it with them. There's nothing wrong with that. It's the nice thing to do, right? So, anyway, you guys, I'm out of here for today. I will be back tomorrow at 3 p.m. to jump back on to this GBWC 2021 build. So come on back for that tomorrow afternoon, and we're going to keep plugging along. Okay? So, with that being said, have a wonderful rest of your day, guys. Wash your hands, be safe out there, use some common sense, but most of all, build something cool. All right? See you tomorrow, guys. Bye. Ow. Fuck, I got shocked. What the shit?